Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to today's edition of the English newscast on Info Television. We kickstart with our top stories. The Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Betia Somo, has inspected the medical and sports test entrance exams into the Combined Services of Military Academy, EMIA, this day. One top headline, details right ahead. Welcome back. And as you heard in one of our lone headline, the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Minister Joseph Betia Somo, has inspected the medical and sports test entrance exams into the Combined Services Military Academy, dubbed EMIA. The exercise took place this November 25 at the Military Stadium in Yaoundé. More details in this report. Candidates seeking admission into the Combined Services Military Academy, EMIA, have been checked to make sure they fit the selection criteria. The Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of Defense, Joseph Betia Somo, supervised the preliminary medical examination and the physical fitness test. While monitoring the conduct of the examination at the Yaoundé Military Stadium, the minister was briefed on other modalities. Aspiring female candidates are expected to be at least 60 meters tall and male candidates 64 meters tall.
Permit us to evaluate and determine the hearing loss of our candidates. When we collide the two together, gives us as bring us a variable, gives us a sound, and it is sound that will take closer to our candidate to determine the hearing loss of his ear.
The visit equally aimed at ensuring that the process is carried out with transparency and in accordance to military standards. Vision tests and general exercise was done under the watchful eyes of Minister Joseph Betia Somo. Accompanied by other senior defense officials, Minister Joseph Betia Somo made mention of the psychotechnical test introduced this year to ease selection into different branches of the military. In an operation carried out on November 23, 2025, the National Gendarmerie apprehended 3 suspects linked to the distribution of fake drugs at Rond-Point Damas in the city of Yaoundé. Approximately 600 cartons of fake drugs were seized, as you will hear in this report by Agnes Ayuk.
3 in number, these young men are involved in the sales and distribution of fake drugs with warehouses found in Rond-Point Damas. Receiving numerous confirmation, the National Gendarmerie started investigations where they finally laid hands on the 3 suspects on Sunday, November 23, 2025. We had confirmation that there was a state of emergency in this area. There is a whole network of fake drug trafficking. We made a search on Sunday morning. We were able to get the drugs from many warehouses and shops that sell the drugs to the population of Damas and its surroundings. Presented to the press this November 25, 2025, about 600 cartons of fake drugs have been seized. These drugs include tramadol, bobaraba, a product to make women butts bigger, syringes, drips, among others.
We have also seized a lot of, about 600 cartons of fake drugs. It's very important to know that to consume those fake drugs is not good for the health. So if you want to feed yourself, you have to go to the pharmacy.
The Inspector of Pharmaceutical Services and Laboratories in the Ministry of Public Health congratulates the efforts of the Gendarmerie legend and calls on the population to report such cases when they come across.
This remarkable effort of the Legion of Center is an effort to be congratulated. We call on other administrations to follow this good example. If people are living in the community with people who are carrying out this kind of activity and they don't report, they don't denounce these activities, then they are accomplices. So we call on the good faith of all the citizens that where you are living, where you see this kind of activities, please do denounce them.
It should be noted that 4 shops involved in the sales of these fake drugs were dismantled by the National Gendarmerie. Cameroonians are therefore advised to buy medications from pharmacies because fake drugs kills. The suspects are behind bars, awaiting to answer in competent courts for their acts.
And a 16-day activism against gender-based violence has been launched by the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondoa. The launch took place this November 25 in Yaoundé. Jessica Ndiwum tells us more.
The Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family, Professor Marie-Thérèse Abena-Ondoa, in partnership with the United Nations in Cameroon, has launched a 16-day activism campaign against violence towards women and girls. The ceremony was hinged under the global theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. The ceremony marked the opening of the 19th edition of the global campaign, launched in Yaoundé on November 25, 2025. The initiative runs through December 10, 2025 and aims to raise awareness, strengthen advocacy, and coordinate action against the growing threat of online and technological-driven abuse on women and girls.
It is time to act together in order to put an end to online violence by stepping up awareness-raising campaigns, advocating for legislative reforms to strengthen sanctions against the perpetrators of digital violence, taking ownership of the existing laws and reinforcing their application. No woman, no girl should be afraid to exist, to express herself in public, in private or online. I call on you to join us in this campaign so that we can work hand in glove to make the digital space a safe and respectful place for each and everyone.
This year's campaign places a strong focus on the escalating risk faced by women and girls in online spaces. Officials emphasized that technology-facilitated abuse from cyber harassment to digital exploitation has become one of the fastest-growing forms of gender-based violence, demanding urgent, coordinated response.
I call on the world to unite to end violence against women everywhere. Together, we can build a world free of fear, where every woman and every girl can strive. The United Nations in Cameroon is determined to work hand in hand with the government, particularly the Ministry of Women's Empowerment and the Family, and all other development and humanitarian partners to amplify voices and challenge harmful practices.
Authorities say the campaign is a reminder that ending gender-based violence requires not only public commitment but sustained collaboration across sectors to ensure that technology empowers rather than endangers women and girls.
This celebration is a big message to the world, amplifying the voices of women and the girls to say no to all kinds of gender-based violence which are perpetrated everywhere, including on digital form. It's going to be a great moment to unite, to join efforts, to conduct advocacy, to amplify the voices of women, the women, the girls all over the world, to say no to any type of gender-based violence, including online in digital platforms.
The initiative will run until December 10, 2025 with the aim to raise awareness, strengthen advocacy and promote coordinated action to combat the rising threat of online and technology-facilitated violence targeting women and girls.
The peculiarity of this year is fighting digital violence, violence on the cyberspace. We know it is getting worse and worse every day. You get women go suicidal because of the exposures they get on the cyberspace. So, and the world is evolving towards that highway. It's high time we sensitize to women to know their digital rights and to protect them.
This year's edition emphasizes the urgent need for collective engagement from government institutions to international agencies and civil society to create safer digital spaces and uphold the rights and dignity of all women and girls.
And as conversations on ending violence against women intensify, the causes of abuse remain deeply felt in Cameroon. In the following commentary, Patient Shintum condemns the motivation behind these acts, calling for urgent societal reform. Let's watch.
Today, November 25, the world confronts a harsh reality. Violence against women is still rampant. And Africa, including Cameroon, is bearing the weight of its most damaging causes. As we mark the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, one thing is clear. The factors fueling this crisis are unacceptable, destructive, and must be firmly rejected. Family interference remains one of the most dangerous contributors. In far too many homes, women suffering abuse are told to endure, protect the family's honor, or stay for the children. This culture of silence is not tradition. It is complicity. It shields perpetrators and abandons victims. Financial dependence is another chain that must be broken. No woman should remain in harm's way simply because she lacks economic means. Yet, countless women in Cameroon and across the continent are forced to choose between surviving abuse and facing poverty. This is not just unfair, it is inhumane. Illiteracy too plays a devastating role. When women are denied education, they are denied power. They are cut off from their right, from legal protection, and from the confidence to seek help. This vulnerability is worsened by harmful cultural beliefs that try to justify abuse under the guise of tradition or male authority. Let it be said clearly, no culture, no custom, no belief has the right to legitimize violence. These factors must not only be identified, they must be condemned and dismantled. Experts insist that the path forward is non-negotiable. Educate girls, empower women economically, challenge and reform cultural norms, and enforce laws with zero tolerance. Cameroon and Africa as a whole must not only acknowledge these drivers of violence, but decisively reject them. The time to end the cycle is now.
And away from that, under the high instructions of the head of state, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, presided this Tuesday the opening of the second biannual conference of regional governors for the year 2025. The meeting took place at the conference room of the Yaoundé City Town Hall, as you tell us in this report, Jude Kenji.
In his opening address, the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, situated the conference in the context of the recently concluded October 12, 2025 presidential election, which he described as the most important election. He hailed the poll as a reaffirmation of Cameroon's irreversible democratic path, noting that it was credible, transparent, and organized in a safe environment, a fact confirmed by national and foreign observers. The conference was attended by a host of distinguished personalities, including the Secretary of State to the Minister of Defense in charge of the National Gendarmerie, Galaxy Toga, the representative of the Delegate General for National Security, the 10 regional governors, the senior divisional officer from Fundi, the mayor of the Yaoundé City Council, and other authorities. Minister Paula Tanganji addressed the acts of violence that erupted in some regions following the proclamation of the results of the presidential election. He attributed the unrest to a well-planned rebellion orchestrated by enemies of the Republic, led by a bad loser candidate currently on the run. The attackers, approximately 1,243 in number, caught red-handed in gang looting, vandalism and arson of public and private property, as well as the accomplices will account for the atrocities committed before the competent courts. Minat Boss provided a regional breakdown of the casualties, noting that the violence led to the deaths of 16 assailants and 4 persons in a stampede in the littoral region. He was quick to add that following field evaluations, calm and order have been restored nationwide, with people going about their businesses normally. An opportunity for the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paula Tanganji, to congratulate the Defense and Security Forces upon their professionalism and composure in the face of multiple provocations. Looking ahead, the minister urged the governors to remain vigilant for the upcoming regional elections on November 30th and the end-of-year festivities. Key discussion points for the conference include combating urban crimes, terrorism, and the alarming rise in drug and substance abuse among youth. It should be noted that the conference will also serve as a platform to assess the implementation of the recommendations from the previous sessions, including the fight against hate speech, supervision of political parties and NGOs, and the execution of development projects.
And still on that, let's now get reaction of some governors selected for us by Jude Kenji. In education, the alarming proliferation of online videos showcasing violence in the school milieu has sparked widespread concern amongst parents. Communities are highlighting the urgent need for parents to take proactive steps to ensure their children's safety in the school milieu. Mimi Tiobo tells us more.
A recent search of online videos of violence on children in school milieus has raised concern amongst parents and the broader community. As a result, it has become imperative for parents to take proactive steps to ensure their children's safety and well-being. Some parents say an effective way to do this is by checking on the children when they return home from schools and engaging in open discussions about their experiences in school. Usually, when my child comes home from school, the first thing he does is greet me. Good evening, Mom. I respond, then I ask him how his day was at school. He tells me, Mom, I have homework. We will work on it together. Then I try to check if he came back in good condition. Being aware of changes in behavior, such as increased anxiety or aggression, is said to be a stronger way to identify a child's situation in school. When the kids come from school, you have to look at the child's attitude. It's a sign of fatigue. Maybe they had some minor injuries or were sick at school, and then check their bag to see if everything is okay. Parent plays a vital role in ensuring their children's safety and well-being. It is essential for parents, school, and the broader community to work together to create a safe and supportive environment for all children where they can strive and reach their full potentials.
Elections Cameroun has approved 75 candidates from 9 political parties to contest the November 30 regional election. Phillips Enchi throws more light on the participants and how it's gonna unfold. Let's watch.
9 political parties, notably the CPDM, UNDP, FSNC, BRIC, PCRN, Novembre, FPD, UMS, and the CDU parties have been shortlisted to run for the November 30th regional elections. A list published by Elections Cameroun will permit 75 candidates to run for the regional polls. The November 30th election, which comes at a time where Cameroonians are still digesting the post-electoral tension, we see the Social Democratic Front (SDF) of the list of parties to go in for the election. Though the theory of universal suffrage will not be applied, the voters are expected to be councillors in various municipalities and traditional rulers in their various categories. As the election unfolds, each region is expected to vote 90 regional councillors, with 70 to man the position of delegates in the division, while 20 will represent traditional rulers, expanding to 900 councillors in total throughout the national territory. Voters' card, which carries an inscription Regionals 2025, is expected to reach voters on or before November 30th, 2025. It should be recalled that the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, remains the lone party to have representatives in all 10 regions, while others are relegated to just a region. This political reservation underscores the limits of certain opposition parties in Cameroon, groups often short on ambition, yet quick to criticize the achievements of others. After the election, the elected regional councillors are expected to supervise the actions of local authorities within their constituency so as to foster development in the country.
A 2-day conclave of Bassa traditional custodians in Kojok 1 has set the tone for reconciliation efforts. Bam Bombok's deliberate on challenges facing the community while outlining the path to greater unity. Patience Shintum reports.
With a strong sense of determination, the Bambombok, traditional custodians of the Bassa people, convened at the residence of Mbombong Tamak Mpondi in Nkonjok 1, Puma subdivision in the Sanaga Maritime Division of the Littoral region. The two-day meeting brought together key traditional figures committed to addressing long-standing challenges affecting their community.
The work will not be easy, but not impossible. We are going to work towards cohesion and understanding between the Bassa people and the sons and daughters who wish to live in harmony and social understanding.
Over the course of the gathering, the Bambombok examined several critical issues on the agenda, engaging in extensive debates aimed at safeguarding cultural values and strengthening internal cohesion. The session concluded with a series of resolutions designed to guide the community's path forward.
The Bassas are not united and don't work in harmony. Since we came here, we've had a series of discussions and taken some resolutions of which I am confident that my people will reunite, because the Mbomboks that converge here this night are working towards that.
At the heart of the discussions was a single overarching goal: the reconciliation and reunification of the Bassa people.
The Bassa people will henceforth grow. We, the Bambombok, have decided to build a strong Bassa people who can stand for themselves in and out of the country, no matter the civilization. And for that, what we did here today is strictly apolitical. We prefer to push our youths ahead and support them from the background.
Following this initial session, the traditional leaders announced plans for additional gatherings in the weeks and months ahead, so as to ensure the continued vibrancy of Bassa identity and tradition.
The Faculty of Science of the University of Ngaoundéré held a ceremony to award 331 laureates of the degree and master's programs. The event was presided over by the rector of that institution in the person of Professor Dieudonné Njoka. Details in this report.
The Faculty of Science at the University of Ngaoundéré organized a solemn ceremony to award diplomas and prizes to 331 graduates in professional, bachelor's and master's program, class 2024-2025, from 22 fields such as chemistry, renewable energy, earth sciences, biological sciences, and biological agriculture. The event, held at Hamajoda Ajudi Amphitheatre, was chaired by Rector Professor Mahmoudou Abdulmumini, with Dean Professor Jonka Dieudonné, other deans and institutional heads.
This ceremony has two objectives. The first one is to create emulation between students, and the second is to increase the visibility of the Faculty of Science.
The graduates ready for the professional world were honored for their commitment. Top performers in bachelor's program receive awards from a partner, checks worth 50,000 francs and kits, including 1.
I am working on a human being, so it is my duty to take care of everybody, to take care of patients and all those who needs my contribution or needs my help. I'll be able to help them.
Professor Jonka praised the efforts to improve training quality and employability. The rector congratulated the graduate, emphasizing the university's role in building skilled resources for Cameroon. The faculty aims to sustain this initiative to promote professional integration, a milestone for academic and professional excellence at the University of Ngaoundéré.
And that takes us to the end of tonight's edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for watching and stay tuned as Claudia Ansar comes up for the news in the French language at 8 p.m. Have a good evening.